most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Sharp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together, we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
You
Bob.
try saying that fast. Today, we're going to talk about strengthening exercises to help stop kneecap pain. We're talking about patellofemoral pain. That's the patella is the kneecap, and the femoral bone is the big bone underneath it.
Right.
So if you haven't already done so, you might want to watch What is Causing You Knee Pain, Patellofemoral Pain Syndrome, or Kneecap Pain, How to Tell. It's part of our program series.
Right.
You go to bobandbrad.com, go to the programs, and under that you'll find one on knee pain.
Right.
And you find the one, What is Causing You Knee Pain, Patellofemoral Pain Syndrome. And that way you can see what we're talking about here.
There'll be a whole list of videos all in that file, so you can go through and pick out the one that works for you. There's a beautiful thing. You can go, there's a PDF printout for each video, gives a preview and a list of the exercises that we'll show in the video. Works out very well. We do it absolutely free. We don't even ask for your email.
All right.
Should we carry on?
Let's carry on. So I'm not going to really explain what this is. I'm going to assume you know what it is.
Right.
But I'm going to start right on the exercise. So number one, now this is a 6-week program, and it's designed to help stop kneecap pain. It was created by a specialized group.
Yep.
I don't remember who it is, but it was a specialized group. But anyway, weeks 1 and 2, these are the exercises you're going to do. I'm going to go over those. First one, you can lie on your back, and you're going to do straight leg raises.
Right. So this is the painful knee. This knee is straight. You lock it out and bring it up, just like Bob is doing, up to 45
don't go
degrees.
Up too high because it's a little easier,
Yep.
and you just hold it right in the middle there. A good 5-second hold, and we do 3 sets of 10.
Now, I think you could bring this knee up, couldn't you, if it feels better on your back?
Right. It'll stabilize your pelvis.
Right, and then you can go up to about the same level as that
Right,
knee. Is a
as the
good
knee.
rule of thumb.
Yep, good point, Brad.
So how many of those? 10?
I knew I kept it around for a week.
Well, you know, Bob, my wife says I'm good for some as well.
3 sets of 10, we're going to do those.
Okay.
Now, all of these, if you do 4 sets, we're not going to send the police out to get you. But okay, next one is the easy one you can do in your chair. Actually, is isometric quadriceps with the knee bent. Actually, knee bent to 90 degrees.
So that's like right there.
So all you do is I'm going to strengthen the left leg, left knee. So I'm going to cross my right ankle over the left, and I'm going to hold it.
So you're going to kick out with the left?
Yeah, if it wasn't there, this would be kicking out.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You're actually strengthening your hamstring that way
Yeah,
as well.
that's right. You're getting a double bonus here. So we're doing 2 sets of 10. I'm sorry, a 3-second hold. You don't have to hold it for 5 seconds if you don't want to.
So count faster.
Usually when you count to 5, it's going to only be 3 seconds.
Right, yeah.
So, all right, mini squats to 40 degrees. Brad, you want to show that, baby?
Yep. So we're just going to, so this would be 90 degrees. You want to go half of that distance. So, this whole progression, starts out easy, and every 2 weeks it gets a little more difficult, the exercises do. So
what we find when you do mini squats like this, or shallow squats, you're not putting as much stress on the kneecap or the knee itself.
Right.
You can actually get by with
avoid this. This is a
Right.
common mistake. You want to shoulders back, up with the trunk, stay vertical with good posture. And, if you start going down and it gets painful on that painful knee, don't go that far. Only go up to the pain or just before it starts, and then go back up.
Now, this is one of the programs where you really probably are going to want to print this out, because it'll tell you all the sets.
Right.
And it'll tell you the description of what you're supposed to be doing. Probably have a picture on some of these, so you'll be able to see what the exercise is.
Right.
Next one is hip abduction. So, when you strengthen the hip, it affects the knee. And so I'm going to strengthen the right side here. And all we're going to do is work on is going out to the side here. Again, a good 10-second hold works out really, really quite well. I'm going a little faster in 10 seconds.
Yep. And he's got his toe pointed straight out.
Yep,
Not
not
up
like
like this.
this.
That's
Yep.
not good. Down
Nope.
like that.
Trying to work in the hip abductors.
All right.
All right. From these, you can go right into clamshell. Now, you can do these with resistance. You can put a band around, but you're probably going to start them without resistance to
Right.
start off with. So you're just like a clam talking to you here.
So the right hip's doing all the work here. The feet stay together, and you go slow like this with good motion control. And you're going to find that this is much more difficult than it looks.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't start with the resistance band. You can get very sore from these. These are small muscles that are externally rotating the hip, and you got long lever arms. So yeah, you line up the ankles completely, line up the legs completely, and you can do both sides, obviously. All right, last one. You can do
Fire hydrant.
2 sets of 15. Yeah, fire hydrant. So this is just like a dog going on a fire hydrant. So
Hands and knees,
Yep,
or we call it quadruped.
Yep, and what you're doing, you're lifting up the leg like you're going to go on to the...
Yeah, but I wouldn't go.
Yeah, don't go.
Just, and Bob's holding it. You hold it for just a second or two, and then come down with good control.
I don't have the greatest external rotation, do I, Brad?
Well, you're a little tight there, Bob,
Yep.
but that's all right. So we're working a lot of hip muscles, and all this is, you wonder why we work in the hip with the knee. It's because the IT band, right, where this white line is, connects to that knee, and we need to stabilize the hip properly to take stress off of the knee as well.
Now, on those, we're going to be doing 2 sets of 15, 10-second hold.
Okay.
Again, print this off so you can know what to do.
Right, it's all very clear. Actually, we're reading it off the smart screen right now.
But
Okay, so the next thing, phase 2 on weeks 3 and 4.
weeks 3 and 4,
We're going to do wall slides. So this is like we were doing 45 degrees on the first 2 weeks. Now we're going to progress it. Lean up against a smooth wall, or a slippery door actually works better. Your feet shoulder width wide, out about a foot from the wall or the door. Good posture, shoulders back in. You're going to go down to about 60 degrees. So you're going to have to use your judgment on this. Should not create any knee pain. If it does, don't go that far down. Go up to that point and then go back up. So there's about 45, a little bit farther. That would be too far.
You can use a towel behind your back sometimes,
Yep.
too, if it's a slippery surface.
Yeah.
Or
If you happen to have a ball, and it doesn't have to be this big of a ball. Actually, smaller ones work okay. But you do the same thing, and this actually works really well.
really well, yes.
Yeah. Good posture. You can bring your hands on your thighs for a little support if you'd like. If you feel wobbly on the ball, you grab a cane or a stick of some sort, or a chair where you can hold, and that helps stabilize you. Do 3 sets of 10 of those.
What's the name on that ball?
What?
What's the name on that
Oh,
ball?
this is a wonderful ball. Let me take a look. Oh, look at that. It
Look
says
at that.
Bob
Where
and
did
Brad.
that come from?
Yeah, these are rated at 600 pounds
Oh, wow.
of weight before they would burst. So they're really a good quality ball. Anyways, shall we get on to
Yeah,
that
let's get on.
number 2?
Step up and down an 8-inch step.
Yep,
That's
so
about 8 inches.
We've
8
got a
inches.
step here. If it's not exactly 8 inches, it's not a big deal. Now, with this particular exercise, let me go this way once, Bob.
Sure.
You put your foot up on the step, and make sure I'm going to use a Booyah stick. If you're at a steps, you can use your handrail.
That's the best thing.
Something to stabilize yourself. But watch my knee. It's going to stay right over my toes. The tendency is that it goes in. For most people, it'll go up, and and I'm exaggerating a little bit, not necessarily for some people. Keep it in line. You're going to go up and down slow. So we'll keep that in line, and we'll go from the
If you see
profile.
from the side, you need to hold.
Yep.
So if I run a plumb line here,
Yep.
he's trying to keep that knee behind the toes.
Yeah, we're not going like this.
Right.
So up
Yep.
and down. And nice slow. We're not bouncing like
Yep.
this.
You want some
Good,
strengthening.
slow control. And you're going to take a rest between each set of 5 on those. 3 sets of 5. If you can't make 5, take a break, or only 2 sets to start out with, and build yourself up.
Then how about a lunge, Brad?
The
do lunges.
lunge.
I don't do lunges anymore. I haven't done them in a while.
You don't want to do them?
Well, I was just having pain.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you want to move? Because
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to use this. For lunges, you can use, a cane or a stick, or just go up to a piece of furniture like I'm going to do here. You're going to step out, balance yourself. You may want to have something on both sides, And then don't let your knee go past the toe if we have a vertical line there. Once it gets to the toe, you can look down with your eyes.
You can see on the stripes of his pants that
yeah,
that shows really well.
exactly. And we're only going to 45, so it's a shallow lunge.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go up and down 10 times. And, I would go ahead, even if your other knee is not painful, and do that. It doesn't take much longer.
Right. Want to stay balanced out, evened.
3 sets of 10, and then you can just keep going back because the other leg is resting while the other leg is working in front. And give yourself a break. And the last one, this is the fourth one, is the pelvic drop. This is an interesting one.
Yes, it is.
You can go back on the steps if you hopefully have them steps or a stool like this. You're going to want to hold something on this one for balance. Handrail, stick, furniture, chair that you can move and hold onto the backrest. Now, this knee stays locked. Okay, this would be the sore knee. And that stays locked. Now, watch what happens with my hip right here. I'm going to drop it down and bring it up. So what
Real subtle movement.
Yep. You'll feel it after you do 10 of these with good control like this. It's working your hip abductor, the glute medius, which is real important stabilizer with your hips, which is going to help control that knee and forces that knee as well. 2 sets of 15 of these.
10-second hold.
So we're going to go up and hold. That's a long hold, Bob.
That's a long hold.
I don't know.
You don't know if you're willing to do that?
Well, if you don't feel like going 10 seconds, go for 5 and then build yourself up.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's only 2 sets, so that's good. But that's going to be a really good stabilizer for that pelvis.
Right.
So we've got, this Pete's Choice is made for this. If you don't have to buy one, you could use I've already used something like a piece of the cushion off of a couch
you can use a pillow.
Or a pillow, yeah. Something that's soft and squishy. It forces you to balance. This is called your balancing your proprioception, which is really important. So let's go back to my involved knee. Okay, we're going to go for 30 seconds with your eyes open. And, have a stick, a cane, holding on to a cupboard or something so you got your balance. And the idea is you're going to eventually be able to do it without that.
This is week 5 and 6, by the way. This is starting in week 5 and 6.
Yep.
You're not doing the other exercises anymore. This is an advanced one. You can do it with your eyes closed too, but be careful. We don't want anybody falling. Somebody fell on us, so make sure you're holding on to a countertop or a booyah stick or something.
So a countertop would be here, one hand over here on something, and then when you feel confident, then you can take your hand off just above the countertop, lift the cane or the stick up. And when you can go 30 seconds, I would put it on your cell phone and put the timer so that at 30 seconds it beeps, so you don't have to look at a clock.
Right.
I like doing it that way. It works well with my patients as well as myself.
All right, then you're going to simply do some walking and progressively increase the amount of, the speed and probably the distance.
Yep. Walk on a flat surface, not up and down hills or on a road if it has a camber for the drainage of the water. That is going to make a difference on your knees.
Yes.
So try a nice flat sidewalk or something that is relatively flat, and not hiking in the woods either.
Right. Then you would also progress to running if you're going to be a runner. You could, same thing, distance, progress it, and probably speed.
Yep.
And by that point, if you've followed all along, that kneecap should be doing better.
Right.
Hopefully it's staying in its groove.
Right,
So
exactly
like
right.
it should
It's
be.
behaving, it's feeling good, and life becomes good again. Back to activity as you wish. What do you say, Bob?
If you get your kneecap to behave, I can only get my partner to behave. So
Well, Bob, that's an issue my mother worked with for many years, and she pretty much...
She failed.
Yeah, she didn't fail. She said it wasn't...
She gave up.
Well, she had to. It's not that she's a quitter. She just was like, what? She had no choice.
What else do I do? All right, thanks for watching.